The war is over. The battle has been won. Chelsea bottled it again. Enzo Maresca bottled it again due to wrong decisions when it comes to Chelsea falling down to 10 men. Nobody wished for Chelsea to go down to 10 men, but Trevor Chalobah's foul was a professional foul, and as such, the decision to send him off was spot on because he was the last man and prevented a goal-scoring opportunity. Chelsea down to 10 men, and that alone tested Enzo Maresca's ability when it comes to Chelsea falling down to 10 men in a match. We experienced that against Manchester United in our last Premier League encounter. And personally, I thought Enzo Maresca wanted to prevent the goal from being more than expected. Little wonder did I know that was Enzo Maresca's tactical ability when it comes to Chelsea falling down to 10 men. The same happened last night at Stamford Bridge. Enzo Maresca bottled it again because of wrong decisions and wrong substitutions. It finished at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 1, Brighton 3. For past 3 matches now, it shows Chelsea are unable to defeat Brighton and Hove Albion. This is a club that we go to every season to carry most of their best players, but yet we find it unable to defeat Brighton. And currently, we have their player whom we are currently playing with no options to buy. And at the end of the season, Facundo Bonanete will go back to Brighton and Hove Albion. What is wrong with Chelsea? What is wrong with Enzo Maresca's tactical ability when it comes to Chelsea falling down to 10 men? Enzo Maresca bottled it again. Personally, I came into the season full of optimism that Chelsea have gotten every arsenal needed to go into the season in order to compete favorably well for the Premier League title and also competing in the Champions League. But 6 games into the league, the war is over. The battle has been won. Enzo Maresca shot Chelsea in the leg. Chelsea began the game against Brighton beautifully well, mounting pressure on Brighton defense line with Gustavo William and Pedro Neto on the left side. And Enzo Fernandez was in the middle of the pack, doing everything to ensure the tempo of the game is actually maintained. And in the 24th minute, Reece James pulled a very beautiful cross that was deflected by the Brighton defenders, and Enzo Fernandez was just spot on to knock the ball inside the net, and Chelsea took the lead 1-0. The first half ended with Chelsea going into halftime with the lead. Coming into the second half, in the 51st minute, Trevor Chalobah committed a professional foul, and he was being booked for it. Trevor Chalobah was shown a yellow card, and after the VAR call, Trevor Chalobah's card was changed in the 53rd minute, and it was a straight red. Decision, fantastic. That was a well-deserved red card because it was a professional foul on the Brighton attacker who was actually denied a goal-scoring opportunity. Chelsea were down to 10 men at the 53rd minute. And having gone down to 10 men, with the way the team was, the players were, Chelsea actually needed a centre-back. And Andre Santos, this time around, was sacrificed. And George Achampong brought into the game. Chelsea continued playing, and Chelsea was still playing the game like we were still 11 in the field because we have everything going forward. And coming backward, the players have the ability to also track back and cover for the defense line. Chelsea were still playing like we were still complete in the pitch because the like of Gustavo William and Pedro Neto was still in the pitch, putting that desired threat to Brighton and Hove Albion. And after the 63rd minute, Enzo Maresca took off Gustavo William. Enzo Maresca took off Pedro Neto, bringing in Badiashile and Romeo Lavia. How long can you keep repeating the same thing and you're expecting different results? The same tactical approach Enzo Maresca used against Manchester United, the same tactical approach he actually used against Brighton and Hove Albion. That actually shows that what he did against Manchester United was just a tactical approach to that game. And I bet to say here that Enzo Maresca is one of the worst managers when it comes to reacting to a red card. I repeat that. Enzo Maresca is the worst manager when it comes to reactions to a red card situations. Enzo Maresca panicked. How can you be down to 10 men and you have already given up in a game, bringing out all your attacking prowess from that game and leaving your defense and your midfield vulnerable to attack? And that is what Enzo Maresca actually did. You bring out Gustavo William, one man who has been a thorn in the Brighton defense line in the first half, even though the goal was not forthcoming. But we saw the threat that Gustavo William was constantly pushing at the defense line of Brighton and Hove Albion. And Enzo Maresca ended up substituting Gustavo William from that game, substituting Pedro Neto from that game. One man that is full of pace and energy, and that at any point in time can actually cause problem to the opposition defense line. How can you be so scared that going down to 10 men that the game is considered over? And that is what Enzo Maresca actually did. Down to 10 men, he actually felt that nothing can come out of it. All we just need to do is to defend the result that we have got already going into that game with almost 45 minutes to play in the second half. Enzo Maresca bottled it with his tactical approach when it comes to Chelsea going down to 10 men. This is not the first time that Chelsea have gone down to 10 men. We were down to 10 men when we went to Camp Nou and pulled a draw and actually qualified for the Champions League final. Enzo Maresca's tactical approach when Chelsea are down to 10 men is the worst I've seen in a manager. Chelsea bottled it. Enzo Maresca, with his wrong decision, have cost us 2 consecutive matches against Manchester United and against Brighton and Hove Albion. Enzo Maresca bottled it. When I saw Chelsea starting 11, I was pretty much comfortable seeing Reece James and Marc Cucurella at the fullback, and at the centre backs was Trevor Chalobah and Joel Ato, a player who have actually played most of his game as left back in the Dutch Eredivisie. Even though in his ability, it is said that Joel Ato can still play or is capable of playing as a left centre back. I wouldn't blame Joel Ato going into this game because fair play to him, he actually got a fair game in that particular encounter. But the decision was on Enzo Maresca, and Enzo Maresca tactically bottled it. He gave Brighton and Hove everything to play for going forward because we were left without because we have already substituted all our threat from that game, leaving Brighton and Hove Albion with full strength to go all out to attack Chelsea. And one man who definitely knows how to score Chelsea very well, talking about Danny Welbeck, was brought in. And the first cross Danny Welbeck got was inside the net. Nobody to mark Danny Welbeck. Joel Ato was nowhere to be found in that centre back. George Achampong was nowhere to be found. Chelsea defence line was just vulnerable when it comes to area duel. Nobody to compete for the game. Chelsea bottled it. 4 consecutive games, we have lost it all by our own mistakes. Our own mistakes have cost us 4 consecutive games. And in the last 4, 2 of those games have been lost by Enzo Maresca's decisions. Wrong decisions. Chelsea bottled it. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. Calling for Enzo Maresca's head at this point in time might not just be the solution, because if we start calling for Enzo Maresca at this point in time, Chelsea is still going to fall back to the same status quo, because the club ownership will still fall back to the same status quo. And what will they do? They'll still go and look for an average manager in likes of Enzo Maresca to continue building. And report now is having it that Enzo Maresca have been given a target that Chelsea should not fall short of Champions League qualification. Is that what we have actually been reduced to? A Champions League qualification that will no longer compete for titles. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. Going forward, what should we be expecting? In the midweek, Jose Mourinho will be in Stamford Bridge with Benfica. And over the weekend, our next Premier League game is against Liverpool, who lost to Crystal Palace. And they will be coming out all blazing to actually redeem their image as the defending champion of the Premier League. What should we be expecting going forward? One can understand the selection Enzo Maresca made in that defense line because Wesley Fofana, though not fully fit, had concussion in the cup game against Lincoln City. And that was why we started with Trevor Chalobah and Jorel Ayew at the heart of Chelsea defense line. But yet, the game was going favorably well, not until Chelsea were down to 10 men and Enzo Maresca bottled it with his decision. And this is unacceptable. How can a manager be so scared playing 10 men and you know that red card is part of the game? If you have a player sent off by red card, what should you do? Do you need to remove all your attacking prowess and also fall back to defense line alone? The best way to defend is to attack. And that is what Enzo Maresca has failed to realize consecutively now in 2 matches against Manchester United and against Brighton in this particular game. You don't pull off all your attacking power because when you do that, you've actually exposed your defense line and your midfield to more attack from the opposition team. And that is what Enzo Maresca did against Manchester United. And he repeated the same thing against Brighton and Hove Albion. And Chelsea lost embarrassingly. Chelsea lost to Brighton. It was very embarrassing. It is unacceptable. Enzo Maresca had to fix this. We came into the season with a very high hope that we have everything it takes to go for a title this season. But after 6 games, the team is going down gradually. Currently, we are placed 8th on the EPL standing. And what is our fate so far this season now? Because it's not looking all right. And like I said earlier, the war is over. The battle has been won because of our ineptitude. And that is caused by Enzo Maresca. What is Chelsea's fate going forward with upcoming games? What is Chelsea's fate going forward in the upcoming games? We lost our first UEFA Champions League opener to Bayern Munich, and now Benfica will be coming to Stamford Bridge. What is our fate of keeping our chance of qualifying to the next round of the Champions League alive? And what is our fate pushing up in the Premier League title? Lots of questions begging for answers. And the earlier Enzo Maresca wake up and put on his thinking cap, the better for our football club. Because this is not what we actually expected this season. This is not what we're actually looking up to. How can you have players, almost 95 million euros players you signed from the transfer market, and you cannot use them to play in the left wing? What are you doing with Jimmy Gittins and Garnacho that you spent the whole summer pursuing, but yet you can't use them in a game? It's beginning to show that we went into the transfer market to get what we never needed. That is what is showing that if you cannot use Gittins and Garnacho in a game, then why did you sign them? Leaving the defense line vulnerable when we are supposed to be having more defenders sign. When Levi Cowell sustained an ACL, it was a sign that we needed to sign a defender into the team. But yet, we were reluctant. And now it is haunting us. The result we are getting is uncalled for. It's unacceptable. We can't go to Brentford and we pull a draw and we are satisfied. Went to the Champions League, lost to Bayern Munich by our own mistakes. Went to Old Trafford, lost to struggling Manchester United that actually showed last night when they were defeated by Brentford 3-1, and we think it's all right. We caused it. It's our mistake, and Enzo Maresca caused it. And last night we lost to Brighton and Hove Albion. This is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Enzo Maresca need to sit up and fix this. What do you make of our game last night that we lost to Brighton and Hove Albion? Drop your thoughts down below. Thank you very much for watching, and catch you in my next video. Bye.